A very good day to you all. My name is Pastor Lawrence Mazenge and welcome to Daily Inspiration. Today we are reading from the book of 2 Kings chapter 6 verse 15 to 16. The Bible says, "And when the servant of the man of God was risen early and gone forth, behold, an host compassed the city with horses and chariots. And his servant said unto him, Alas, my master, how shall we do? And he answered, Fear not, for they that be with us are more than they that be with them." Our message this morning is titled, Trust in God's Presence. Where we have just read, we have got a scenario of Elisha and his servant. And Elisha had one thing where he was warning the king of Israel about the plans of the king of the Syrians. Now, when the king of the Syrians heard about this, the Bible says he was so worried that he asked his servants and said to them, "Amongst us, who is a sellout? Who is telling the king of the Israelites our plans?" And one of the servants said, "No, my master, there is a prophet in the land of Israel and his name is Elisha." And the king assigned his people, his troops, to go and capture the prophet and bring him in. And this is where we are seeing one morning when Gehazi woke up in the morning and he found the city surrounded by the Assyrians, by the Syrian soldiers. And he went back into the house and he told his master, "We are surrounded." What Gehazi was seeing, what the servant was seeing, was the army of the enemy. But Elisha the prophet was seeing the army of the Lord surrounding the army of the enemy. Let me tell you something. You might not see it, but God's presence is with you. When the enemy is planning against your life, sometimes you have prayed, sometimes you have done everything, even if the situation is not going away. Continue trusting in the presence of God, because it's not like God will always do according to what we are saying. It's not like God will always do according to our commands, but He is in control of that situation. Elisha was in the house, and as a prophet, I believe he knew that he was surrounded, but he trusted more in the presence of God. He trusted more in the spiritual realm. He was seeing a better army. He was seeing the hosts of heaven around him. But my issue is not with Elisha. My issue is with Gehazi. Because Elisha, I don't have a problem with him because he was seeing what was happening. Gehazi was not seeing. But him not seeing the armies or the hosts of heaven does not mean to say the presence of God is not surrounding them. You might be in a situation where you are not seeing God. You might be in a situation where you are not seeing angels. But I want you to understand and I want you to know that each and every day, God is fighting battles for you that you don't even know. If it was according to the will of the devil, you would be 6 feet down. If it was according to the will of the devil, you would be a skeleton right now. But God is always fighting battles that you are not seeing. If you read the book of Numbers chapter 23, we hear about the story of Balaam and Balak, how they had hired each other to come and curse the nation of Israel. But God protected Israel. Israel did not know what was happening in the land of Moab. They were sitting in the plains and Moses was giving them lessons and instructions. But the enemy was trying to curse them. The enemy was trying to destroy them. But what was happening? God was fighting the battle for them. I want you to understand, no matter what you might be going through, trust in the presence of the Lord in your life. He said, "I will be with you when you shall walk in the waters. I will be with you when you shall be in the fire. I will be with you until the end of the world." That is what Jesus Christ said unto his disciples. I want you to understand that command still exists today. You might not be seeing God in your situation. Your enemies might be celebrating. Your enemies might be surrounding you. But continue trusting in the presence of God. His presence is with you. He said, Moses said unto Israel, unto God, "If you shall not go with us, if your presence shall not go with us, then we are not going." I want you to understand that in this season and in this era that we are living, God understands the plans of the devil. God understands that we are in the last days and the devil is doing the best of his machinations. But I don't want you to panic because of what the devil is doing. I want you to trust in the presence of God. The book of Luke chapter 22 verse 42 to 43 says, saying, "Father, if thou be willing, remove this cup from me. Nevertheless, not my will, but thine will be done." And there appeared an angel unto him from heaven, strengthening him. This is Jesus Christ, ladies and gentlemen, who was praying just before he was crucified. He prayed unto his Father. He prayed for the cup to be removed from him. He prayed for the cup to be taken away from him. But let me tell you something, although he was God, the cup was not taken away from him. The fact that the cup was not taken away from him did not mean God had abandoned him. Because the Bible says, and there were angels that came to comfort him. I want you to understand that in that situation, you have not broken down because the angels of God are comforting you. You have not broken down because God is carrying you upon eagle's wings. Like the children of Israel, they saw themselves walking for 40 years, but they didn't know that the Lord was actually carrying them. They were not walking. You have not been destroyed because the presence of God is with you. You have not perished because the presence of God is with you. You are on eagle's wings. That is why that situation is not destroying you. That is why that valley is not swallowing you. That is why that bear is not swallowing you. They've planned for so many years. They planned to kill you even from the day that you were born. But because of his love, because of his presence, the presence of the Lord did not allow the enemy to do what he wanted to do with you. Well, I want to tell you the story of Job. When Job was living his own life, he didn't know that the devil was trying to access his life until the devil went to God and complained and said, "You have put a hedge around the life of Job." Job didn't know that there was a hedge. That Job didn't know that there was someone trying to access his life. But there was an enemy who was trying to access him, and the presence of God was protecting Job. There is a hedge around your life. There is fire around your house. There is fire around your job. God is protecting you each and every day. Don't worry about what is happening right now. Those that are with you are greater and more than those that are with them. Trust in God's presence. God bless you and have a good day.